Good morning, I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching. It is appreciated as always. I've said this before, I'll say it again. There will be a coming together on the right of politics before the next general election. There's certain people that think that it will be an early election, maybe in 2028 or 2027. I tend to agree this Labour government is on its last legs and it's just a year in power. Why do I think that Restore Britain is going to be in the cabinet of the next United Kingdom? There's a few things we need to unpack here. The first thing I want to say is, Zaya Youssef has come out and he's said, and this is something that Nigel Farage has said as well regarding Reform UK. As Prime Minister, the government, Nigel, will assemble a galactic level talent in the first Reform cabinet, many of whom will not be MPs. The era of the likes of Miliband, Hancock and Reeves making most of the important decisions in the land will be over. We need the best, including from outside politics. I completely agree. Some people will say that this is against the system of the United Kingdom. Well, no, not really. Not really at all. Because the Prime Minister doesn't have to be an MP. He has to be able to command the majority of the House of Commons. That is the only condition. By constitutional convention, which is not legally enforceable, it is usually a Member of Parliament. Not always. There has been instances in the past where the peers have been Prime Ministers. They've had to resign a peerage and by tradition become an MP. This happened in the 1960s, I believe it was Alex Douglas-Home. There was a bit of an outcry and he had to resign from the Lords and become an MP. That's tradition, it's constitutional convention, it's not required. So I'm going to read this out now. In the United Kingdom, the requirement for members of the Cabinet to be parliamentarians is largely a matter of constitutional convention rather than a strict legal requirement written in statute or law. It's well established constitutional convention that the Prime Minister must be a Member of Parliament, typically the House of Commons, although historically some Prime Ministers have sat in the House of Lords, such as Lord Salisbury or Salisbury in the late 19th century. This convention ensures that the Prime Minister can command the confidence of the Commons. It's not needed, though. There is no explicit law mandating that the Prime Minister must be an MP or peer. Practical reality is that the monarch appoints somebody who can lead the government and maintain confidence in the Commons. In theory, a non-parliamentarian could be appointed Prime Minister, as I've suggested. It would likely need to be given a peerage or securities in the Commons, quickly to adhere to a convention or practical government needs. But it's not necessary. And this is the real kicker. This is from Rael Braverman, he was a Tory, husband of Suella Braverman, and he defected to Reform, and then he left Reform. He put this out. Reform, Advance UK, and Restore. So Advance UK is Ben Habib's political party, or will be a political party soon enough. And Restore is obviously, Restore Britain is the one that Rupert Lowe is heading up. They all share more than they differ, and before the next election, they should unite. You mustn't let perfection be the enemy of the good. He's not the only person on the right that said this. There's been other political commentators and there's been other politicians that have said something similar to this. What Restore Britain is actually doing is it's putting in hard yards and it's putting in the hard work that's needed. Because nobody's looking at Restore Britain, they can actually do all of this without the media coverage, without the headlines, without the scrutiny that you would get if you were an MP or you was the head of a political party like Reform. Like Reform, the party that I'm a member of. I always thought that the falling out between Rupert Lowe and Zia Youssef and Reform UK was the theatrical part of the political landscape. I don't actually think there's anything particularly to write home about. I think that Restore Britain is putting in the hard yards. They've already appointed people such as the Black Belt Barrister, the great Lewis Blackpool, and Charlie Downs. If you get these people doing all the work and they're putting in the hard yards with Rupert Lowe, why can't they be in a Reform cabinet? Because they wouldn't be in the party. Apart from Rupert Lowe, they wouldn't be MPs. So this is all positive, this is all great news, and I think this is what's going to happen. I really, really do. People are going to be really, really shocked when it happens. I'm not. I've even got a bet with somebody I'm quite fond of online, and we've got a bet. I think that this is going to happen. They say, Damien, Cheshire, you're absolutely dreaming, this isn't going to happen. I really think it is, and this is why I'm making the video. Let me know if you think I'm right. Reform are going to get the majority. Advance UK are going to do well. They're going to do well, and they're going to do better than many people will expect them to do. The Tories and the Labour and the Liberals, they're done. They're going to be consigned to the history books. They're going to be lucky to get, I would say, 200 seats between them. That's my bet. And the other 450 seats are going to be split, and they're going to be split between Reform UK and Advance. That's just my opinion. Restore Britain is going to be in the next cabinet, and there's going to be a Reform-led cabinet. Now, if you like this video and you think I'm onto something, let me know. Do you put any stock in what Raoul Braverman is saying like I am? I think he's right. Like, subscribe, do all of that great stuff, and I'll see you in the next video later on today. I appreciate your time as always. Thank you for watching.